Have you ever witnessed two people having a conversation and one or maybe neither is really listening to the other? As business owners and leaders, we can accidentally and quite easily fall into this trap and get consumed by our point of view and what we want to say, and it meaning that we're not getting the results that we want from our team or in our business. And often as leaders, we might not connect the dots here. We don't realise that the answer to more influence and better leadership and better results comes with having high emotional intelligence. The great news is that you can develop it. So if you want to find out how to boost your emotional intelligence and up-level your results, stay tuned, because I'll be sharing 5 simple actions that you can put in place straight away today. Hi, I'm Leanne Bridges, Success and Self-Mastery Coach for business owners and leaders. Now, a leader with low emotional intelligence could be compared to a carpenter that's got a dull saw. They might have the tools necessary to get the job done, but their lack of emotional awareness and emotional regulation might be getting in the way of them having really productive working relationships and leading high-performing teams. I remember seeing a leader in action who, although he was incredibly nice and so well intended, he struggled to deal with anyone who had an opposite view to his. If they challenged anything, he'd have that look of, there's absolutely no way we're doing that on his face. Have you ever noticed that type of look from someone? You can almost see them close their ears and stop listening. Of course, in time, the team gradually offered fewer and fewer ideas, and that leader was missing the opportunity to create a really high-performing team. Because people didn't really like to take decisions and they weren't that innovative. The point here is it was subtle. It was a look that he might not have realised that people noticed. You can often feel what someone intends in their words, even if they don't specifically say it. So if you want to boost your impact as a leader and get great results, if you want to lead a high performing team, then I'm going to share with you right now 5 ways that you can do that. So number 1, improve your self-awareness. So stop, reflect, just look at yourself and how you interact with others. How might other people perceive you and the approach that you're taking? Hidden meaning are you intending or might you be conveying with your words or your expressions? And once you've got a clearer picture of yourself, you can really begin to change your approach and ultimately improve your emotional intelligence. It can be quite hard to do this on your own as you don't always see how you're behaving and the impact it has, but it's useful to look back at conversations that didn't feel as though they went well. Think about how you behaved and what you said or did that might have contributed to you feeling that way. And that'll give you some really interesting clues as to how you might improve. Of course, you can always ask your team or your peers for some feedback too. Number 2, open up. So leaders sometimes see a need to isolate themselves, their thoughts and their feelings. And if you really truly want to connect with your people, you need to allow yourself to be open and constructively share your ideas and your feelings. People will follow you if they trust you, and that comes from having a trusting two-way relationship. I know for me, when I was in the early part of my management career, I really thought that I needed to hold some of myself back, and it meant that I wasn't sharing some of the best parts of my personality with my team or other people in the business. And once I let go of that thought, all my relationships at work were much easier. Of course, there will always be a need to keep some information to yourself and not to overshare. People don't need to know every single thing about you, but sharing how you feel about things in a constructive way will improve your relationships and the connection that you have with your team. Number 3, predict how you'll feel. How you respond in situations can be affected by how you feel. You might recognise that. So predict how you might feel in a situation and then think about how you'll manage yourselves and your feelings to get the best outcome. Of course, emotional intelligence doesn't only apply if you're managing a team. Perhaps you're a business owner and you've got to deal with a pitch or an inquiry. Thinking ahead of time about how you might respond if your offer is turned down by the client is really useful. Much as it would be great to close all of the proposals all of the time, that quite rightly doesn't happen all the time. So being emotionally regulated and prepared to handle any refusal will ensure, well, first of all, that you've got the opportunity to explore any objections they might have and still win the contract, and if not, to leave the conversation in a way that they'd want to come back to you with future opportunities. If you're not feeling prepared for that, it can make that all feel a bit awkward and uncomfortable, and of course in the long run you might lose out. Number 4, notice how other people are feeling. So gauge how other people people are responding to you and what you're saying, and then alter what you're saying based on how it's being received. A really slight adjustment to the way that you say something can have a dramatic impact on the outcome. You can see how your message is landing as you deliver it. You probably know those times when you think to yourself, oh, this isn't going down very well. Or maybe times when you thought, they look like they're loving this message. So when it's landing well, take those opportunities to motivate them more. I mean, why not? There's nothing better than hearing that you're doing a great job. And so why not spend a bit longer expanding on that and really getting into the detail of all those things that went really well, really make the team feel great. Or if you can see that a message isn't landing well or people are looking confused, then take the opportunity to deal with it. Ask questions to clarify and ask people's feelings on the matter or understanding of what you're saying. Number 5, consider a coaching program. If you are self-aware, reflective and open, you'll be in a great position to get the most out of coaching. It's a fact that coaching improves your emotional intelligence, your interpersonal skills, and it lowers your stress levels. I see that with my clients every day too. Once people develop their emotional intelligence, they get far better results. The team respond better, they develop better relationships with their clients and their suppliers, they even improve relationships at home. And that means that they feel less stressed about what's gone wrong because it's not going wrong. They can stop worrying about people taking things the wrong way or not getting their messages across properly to someone. Through developing emotional intelligence, my clients learn some really simple ways to change how they show up with people, respond to and influence other people, and it has a huge impact, like all round. It improves their work performance, their productivity, and ultimately their profitability.